Hello, everybody, and this is the Magic Flower Movement Tarot. So, have you heard of this deck? I haven't until like a few weeks ago. Uh, this deck came across my radar on the Tarotaholics Discord, um, and I don't recommend joining that community unless you want to spend all your money because it's a fantastic community and they're full of enablers. So, this deck, one of the other members basically had a photo of a few of the cards and they couldn't determine what the deck was. After a few days, after people in the community did their um, investigation, they found out it was this deck. And this deck is very unique in the way that you get it on the wholesale sites like Wish, AliExpress, Alibaba, which is usually a big can of worms because on those wholesale sites, they're full of counterfeiters. You'll see a lot of indie decks, and they'll really kind of crapify the printing of the deck and shoot you a deck that's worth $5, and it's terrible kind of quality. This, however, is its own unique creation. It's a sole purpose deck. And what I love about it is that, one, it's affordable. Two, it's not ripping anything off. It's its own unique thing. I find because of the counterfeit market, it is really difficult to get a hold of Chinese decks, decks that have been created and actualized in China, because it's a supply and demand thing. Unfortunately, people will purchase these counterfeit decks because they don't want to spend $35 on a deck. They want to pay $5 for a deck, and they get sent these counterfeit decks. So there's no demand for unique decks on these wholesale websites. But to actually find an actual, again, unique deck on there that you can only get on those websites, it's really exciting, honestly, because one, it's affordable. Two, you get some nice unique things. Again, I purchased this on AliExpress. Came to like $15, roughly, everything in. And the shipping actually was really friggin' quick. Usually when you buy stuff on those websites or Wish, it takes like 3 months to come in. 16 days. 16 days. So I'm not mad at it. Now, when it comes to foreign decks like this, I don't have a whole lot of foreign decks just because I find they're always a bit of a pain in the neck, especially from websites that are not English speaking. They're just hard to navigate. I do have a few decks that are foreign language. I have the Lunatic Tarot, I have the Pokebox Tarot, I have this one, and I find that even before those big wholesale websites, it was just always difficult when I was doing collection pieces. Japanese decks are notoriously difficult to get out of Japan because, I'll be frank, their shipping sucks. And it's not just an issue with tarot decks. I used to listen to a lot of J Metal back in the day, and getting CDs, getting any collectibles out is just hard. So I don't have any Japanese decks for that reason. This is another side like complaint, but I also find Japanese decks are hard to find actual realized decks. A lot of them are based around fandoms. So, for example, if you get like an anime deck around a specific anime, it's just a lot of just random photos or random pictures splattered on these cards. They don't make a whole lot of rhyme or reason. It's a cash grab. So I find that is a big issue with Japanese decks. They just don't take it seriously. When it comes to Chinese decks, counterfeiting is a huge issue, right? You don't really see an actual realized deck. Those are the two things off the top of my head I can think of. I haven't had a whole lot of experience purchasing decks from any other countries, or at least trying to. If I do, they're usually from the UK, which is a lot easier to deal with, frankly. But back to this one here. So we do have this little white book, and it's nicely written. Yeah, it's really nicely written. Of course, we got your Celtic cross, which is funny. I don't ever use the Celtic cross. I probably should. Now, the deck's cute. Oh, it's so small. He's so little. So comparing to the Rider-Waite me, yeah, it's cute. It's a little, and it comes with a bag. No, this is like, it's a nice little cheap bag. It's like a little velvet one, but when I say velvet, it's not that real velvet, if that makes any sense. But it's cute. No, it's cute. That's a lot of room in there. That's probably mostly fit this in here. Also, yeah, another side complaint. It's really difficult to get foreign decks, especially out of certain countries when we have Western decks that name their decks certain things. Like you get like the Chinese tarot, the Japanese tarot, and they come out of like U.S. games or Llewellyn. So you end up Googling these things, and you're getting these Western decks from Western artists, and it's just like, no, I want an actual legitimate Chinese deck or Japanese deck. And I actually had the same complaint when the Tarot Vintage came out. Grab that real quick. So when the Tarot Vintage came out, that was a giant pain in the ass, because now if I go on eBay and I try to search for vintage tarot cards, this is what comes up. And this just came out in like 2021. Like, it's a nice deck, it's cute, but I'm gonna go back into that. Like, it's a cute deck, very pretty, but it's just like now the friggin' search engine's all screwed up. So, and it's the same issue with any decks from other countries. Like, if you see a deck that's like, oh, the Irish tarot, or oh, like, I don't know, the Polish tarot, and if it's not actually made in Poland, then you just bring up search engines. And I know that, again, there's like the Chinese tarot and stuff like that, that's not actually made by a Chinese artist in China, and I dislike that greatly. So let's crack this open, because I actually don't know what these cards look like. I know that it's a fully realized Rider-Waite Smith, and that's the extent of my knowledge. Alright, so cardstock wise, there's a little bit of a bend there. Hey, listen, it was a cheap deck, I'm not complaining. Cardstock wise, pretty thick. It's cheap. It's not that crazy. I'm gonna edge it. I'll just toss some black on there. I'm not gonna get too ornery about it, because I can just order another one. It doesn't want to fly away from me. Usually decks usually like to kind of slide a bit. There's not a whole lot of sliding there. But honestly, for 15 bucks, I ain't mad. I like the size. I have tiny little hands, so to have a nice, like, I can actually shuffle it this way. As you can know, I usually shuffle a long way just because my hands are teeny little. So to actually have a deck that I can shuffle, it's cute. And just a little bit of a bump there, but whatever, I'm not that terribly concerned. So I'm gonna go through the flip through, and we're gonna see what this looks like. Alright, thoughts. It's a cute deck. Oh, throwing cards already. Yeah, it's a cute deck. Again, it's nice being able to shuffle overhand. It shuffles nicely. Again, it's definitely a cheaper deck, but I'm not mad at the shuffling, except for cards like trying to explode at me. I think overall, it's really cute. There is some, like, I'm finding that there was some cards that do deviate a little too much from its intended meaning. Again, that's if you follow the Rider-Waite-Smith. Like the Seven of Cups here, him finding the hoard. It's like, yeah, I'm sure that card can be interpreted that way if you just look at it, but it really kind of indicates like illusion and choice. So this would almost be more of a Nine of Cups situation. So, so the meanings are slightly off. If it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother you. It really just depends on how you feel about things overall. Again, it's for the cost. I'm not going to complain in any way, shape, or form. And it's really nice to find like a unique style deck that, again, that's coming out of the Chinese market, because you don't see those too often. At least not easily, I should say. You can definitely get a hold of them online. They're just harder to get a hold of legitimate decks. And I believe this was created to be mass produced, kind of like how those counterfeit decks are printed, right? But this is actually a realized one, which is really fun. So I'm not mad at it at all. I don't think it's going to be one of my working decks, as cute as it is. I think it's a little too twee for me, personally. But he's cute. It's cute. And like, look at the Fool here. He's so happy. He's got a little rose, and he's got his little doggo. Like, it's actually, you know what? That's really nice. And there's some cards that are just not so nice because it doesn't really clarify exactly what it means. Like, that's just a rip off of the Rider-Waite-Smith. And then, as I showed you with the Seven of Cups there, it just doesn't really kind of connect at all. It's like it's kind of way off, unless you want to interpret that way. Again, that just comes down to your personal reading style and your connections. For me, personally, I'm just like, not immediate connection for me, so it's a little harder for me to connect to this deck overall. But, again, it's cute, it's affordable, it came very, very quickly, which is surprising, because again, Wish, AliExpress, those types of websites take like 80 years to ship anything to you. So the fact that it came so quick, and it's nice. It's a very cute deck. I'm very happy to have it. I'm going to edge it, which is funny because usually I only go out of my way to edge the decks manually, the ones that I really like that don't have an edge. But I think this deserves it. I think it's cute. It might be a purse deck. But where I'm really seeing value in it is that if you have a younger practitioner or a younger tarot reader, although some of the meanings are a little off, like I'm very curious what it's going to say in this booklet about the Seven of Cups. Fairy favors, images of reflection, imagination, sentiment, things seen in the glass of contemplation, some attainment, degrees, nothing permanent or substantial suggested. It's a little vague, but it's not wrong. It's really kind of indicating, like, again, illusion. That's kind of the key thing there, or having too many choices and kind of being at a standstill. So the fact that showing is like, oh yeah, cool, I found all this treasure, it doesn't make sense to me, but whatever, not mad. I think I'm just more or less excited by the fact that I was able to find a deck that is not a ripoff. That's not a counterfeit deck, because they're so common on Wish, AliExpress, and all that. So to find a unique deck that is intended to be sold the way it's sold, I'm pretty excited. And again, it's cute. It's cute. I can't be. It's cute. Like, there's nothing to be mad at here. I just can't connect to it. But it's cute. It's very cute. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it.